Hello.
Hello.
How we doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty all right. Just a little tired, but not so tired as to not be able to show up for the rodeo, I think.
Yeah. それは普通ですね. It's pretty normal, right?
Mm.
I feel like that's all of us these days.
These days, bro. Yeah.
These days, in these trying times. So yeah, today we're doing some more practice, basically continuing with what we did in the last recording, just kind of running through some exercises. But because we've kind of shortened up how the exercise would look, I figured we could spend the beginning of this just having a quick reminder or refresher on how particles work.
Okay.
I have not prepped this presentation. I just I've run through this before, so hopefully it'll be just fine. But
All right.
um, there will be a couple of uses, or like one or two uses for particles that I've not included in this presentation. But I'll just be sure to bring that up when we get there.
Very cool.
Um, yeah, so the first one that we'll get started with is obviously the O particle. I am also sorry for this will probably mess up your aspect ratio stuff in the future, but
That's a
anyway.
struggle for future me.
But the O particle has the most straightforward function here. There's only really one function too, and in a technical sense, it is used to identify direct objects. Now, what is a direct object? It is basically like if you're doing an action, it is the thing that you're doing the action to. So I think I have an example here. Yeah. So it's like if I say the sentence, "I will eat the hamburger is being eaten. That is the object of the action, hence direct object. So with this hamburger, I will eat the hamburger example, I think I put it down here. Yeah, I will eat the hamburger. 私はハンバーガーを食べます.
Okay.
Right. Um, yeah, I kind of skipped through the rest of the details here, but this will go right after the thing it's describing, and this will be the case for all particles because, like I've mentioned before, the function of a particle is to show its relationship with either the verb or the words around it. So it will always follow, especially the O particle. It will follow the object that is receiving that action.
Mm.
It doesn't necessarily go right before the verb either because we can use some frequency adverbs or even like counters before the verb. So I wouldn't think of it as always the the O particle going right before the verb. But it's in simple sentences it'll usually be sandwiched in between the two, like it is in this sentence.
Okay.
And then as you've come across, because like when you're typing it, especially, this is the wo character,
Hmm.
but don't pronounce it like that. It is o.
Okay.
Unless you're singing, sometimes there's creative liberties in
Very
that, but
specific
don't
times.
think about that. Jibu.
Jiboom.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's the O particle. Any questions with this one?
I am good with it. I will also say, since I tend to like listen to these back like during my workday, I like the lecture format, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like yapping,
All
so
right.
I'm glad to hear that.
All right. Good, good. Do
All
with
right.
that information what you will.
Yeah, and I've color coded everything here. So this point at the very bottom is just notating that there isn't something in English that serves the same function here. This will be different for most of the other particles, though. Just wool is wool. O is pretty unique in this way.
Okay.
And then for those watching that aren't familiar, these page numbers are just associated with stuff from the Genki textbook, I believe specifically the third edition. So
I
if
was
you
I
have
was
that
going to
textbook,
say third
yeah.
edition.
So I mean, the second edition is probably the other common one, but they're close enough that you'll be in the same general area.
I
But if
think
you have the textbook, oh
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think if you're googling around just for PDFs, I think the second edition is slightly more common on the unofficial sources, if you will. Um, but yeah, I have the third edition physically myself. If you're buying it off of
Yeah,
Amazon, that's probably what you would end up getting.
yeah. So the page number at the top is the page explaining the old particle, and then this one at the very bottom right are just the exercises associated with using old.
Okie doke.
Moving on to de. So this one is to identify the location. You said it before. This is like at, right? So you're doing something at a location. I played at the park, right?
Mhm.
This is also used with action verbs like taberu, like to eat and stuff, because it's just, you're adding more to that sentence. So in our example here, we have Taylor studies at the library. Teira-san wa toshokan de binkyou shimasu. That de is once again following the object the noun that it's describing. So if he's studying at the library, it's going to follow toshokan there immediately afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
And is it always immediate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Particles are always going to follow what they are um, identifying, basically, if that makes sense.
I follow.
Okay.
Like a particle
Now,
myself.
yeah. We're all just particles floating
At
around
the
in
end
this
of the
big,
day.
big blue world. Hopefully, it stays blue for a lot longer.
Let's do what we can, folks.
With de, the other use that we've introduced at this point has been by means of. So specifically, we've talked about transportation. So like kuruma de, like by car, right?
Mhm.
Aruite is a little bit different since that's a modification of a verb technically, but it follows the same principle with like kuruma de, it's by car, or jitensha de, by car. Um, and by extension, this by means of use for de does include other things. So if like you eat with chopsticks, I don't think I said that correct.
Okay.
If you eat with chopsticks, it'd be like hashi de tabemasu. So I eat using chopsticks.
Would like
So you could also use it.
via like be a good analog for that? Like I ate it via the chopsticks.
Um, so not if you're talking about tools,
Okay.
yes. But if there there are other complicated or more complex sentences where you do like by means of, or I do this via some other action, and I just don't want to create that association.
Okay.
So with tools or nouns, I should say, with nouns you could say via, um, but in English this could get translated a lot of different ways, obviously. But
Okay.
um, the function of it could just be seen as like via this tool or by means of the tool or vehicle, right?
Okay.
I don't know when that'll be brought up, or at least like tools. I don't know when they'll be brought up with Akamonkai, but I wanted to go ahead and bring that up since technically it follows the same rules as like kurumade by means of.
Okali doke.
Uh, yeah. Any questions with de?
I wanted to ask just to clarify.
Okay.
Because mic and internet compression and whatnot. Arui aruite is a T sound and everything else is a D
Yes,
sound, correct?
you got it.
Okay. T is in Tom, D is in dog.
Yes. Now the ni particle, this one is for the traveling verbs, and you'll see that it's also the e particle.
Mm-hmm.
Akamonkai has put a lot of emphasis on e and not ni. This was the complaint I had when this was first brought up, where they don't even mention that ni has been used here. And I kind of forgot about that when I wrote a lot of these exercises. So we'll keep on reminding everyone as we go through it.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the destination particle, or at least the ni and e particle are used to notate destination. So going to, coming back to, etc., etc. So like I will go to the park. That's the ni here. With this sort of function of the ni and e particle, this will be used with movement verbs like iku to go and kaeru to return home. There are other ni usages where this is not the case, and we'll kind of get in that in the I believe the next slide. E is the he character, but we don't say that. We don't say the he when used as a particle. I couldn't explain why. I don't know why that is, but just keep that in mind.
Okay. And I was going
Yeah.
to ask when it's a particle, it is always a.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that like this is also just like a case of formality. I believe because this is a little bit more antiquated, or not antiquated, but it's more older speak, I guess, that there's
Mm-hmm.
this association with formality. So that's something to keep in mind when thinking of when to use ni versus e. But they're functionally the same exact thing, and in my opinion, ni is probably more common. commonly said in this function. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mentioned is less common, but that's also just because of that formality thing.
Hmm.
So our example, Yui-san wa daigaku ni ikimasu. Here, the ni is notating to, right? That's the equivalent way of thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions for this function of ni and e?
I wanted to clarify, and this might be like an immediate slide. But like
Mm-hmm.
ni when used here, does ni show up with time as well, or is that only g? Am I confused?
Yeah, that is ni.
Okay.
Yeah, it is used with other things because unfortunately, particles aren't super simple. They usually have multiple functions.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
is that more common than the norm? Is it just because we're being introduced to particles now that it's easiest to delineate them?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, like as we'll get into the next slide, we have already started using ni and de for two different functions,
Okay.
right? So
Just
that that
gotta
is the thing. Yeah.
come to terms with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So part two, ni.
Perfect. Perfect. Ni part two.
um, Yeah, so ni is used to or is used with specific time. In this case, you don't really think of it as it's like notating the relationship with a verb or anything like that. It's just what you do. Um, and one way of like looking at it that I think is kind of helpful is that when trying to separate specific time versus general time, specific time usually means numbers are involved.
Okay.
Um, but general time is words such as like, oh, this is a complicated way of saying it, but like today, tomorrow, time references that are based off of like where you're at right now. So like yesterday, day before yesterday, so on and so forth. Regular intervals, so mainichi or maigetsu, every day, every month. Those are also general time. I mean, that one's a little bit easier to understand. So yeah, here's where the number thing can kind of come into play. So clock time, so like rokuji is a pretty specific point in time. That's an
Mhm.
example of when we use ni. And days are, I believe, optional, but I have always defaulted to putting ni um, after after a day of the week because
I
that's
was gonna
just kind of
say,
what I got used
does
to.
like specific days refer to like the weekday name or like the counter calendar name or both?
Um, I believe it would be both.
Okay.
Because like if you want to think of it this way, a calendar day would also be a pretty specific time. That one might be optional because like remember with days of the week it's kind of optional.
Hmm.
So maybe I'll fact check that by the end or after this or some point.
Okay.
While we're going through the exercises, I'm sure I can bring that up. We've been using goro to mean around, and this is specifically with like a point in time that goro is used here. But goro means like around, and this will replace ni more often than not.
Okay.
You could still technically use it, but you don't need it. It kind of does the same thing.
Okay.
I
Goro
mean,
itself is a word though, not necessarily a particle, right?
I honestly probably couldn't tell you
Mm.
technically what part of a sentence Godel fits under.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like its standalone thing or not, but it definitely does follow the time.
Hmm.
So it's like almost. I always think of it like a suffix.
It's almost kind of Goro kind of.
Yeah, it's around a suffix. That's always how I've conceptualized it, but I don't know if it's if it's a noun on its own or not.
Hmm.
So here, this sentence is where I am kind of separating the use of ni. So it's kind of color coded. Hopefully that comes off well enough. So in our example here, Teira-san wa sanji ni, this ni bit is the time function of
Okay.
the particle. So sanji ni, so at 3 o'clock, uchi ni kaerimasu. He will return home at 3.
Okay. So blues
Yeah.
clock G Red's location. I might have said
Yeah.
G. I'm doubting myself.
I heard knee, so I'll give you
Okay.
credit.
All right. Cool.
I don't know. But yeah, and like knowing what the function of it is once again going to come from the word that precedes it, because like it wouldn't make a lot of sense to translate it as I went home to the 3 o'clock, right?
Mm,
So that these are one of those, like, Japanese is very high context language. This is one of those context things that is going to be pretty easy to parse about like what it's trying to say. You know what I
okay.
mean? And then this is just using goro, using goro instead of ni. So sanji goro uchi ni kaerimasu. Taylor will home around 3.
Okay.
Add a sip of water. Any questions for ni, especially since there's a couple of different functions for it.
I was going to ask questions about Goro, but it like immediately populate like it was the fading in as I was thinking of the question. So I think I'm okay.
It's almost like I've run this PowerPoint with you before.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I can just read your mind. Who knows?
The joestar.
This is something I took from my old school class that kind of separates what is considered general time and specific time. This is kind of like hard to read a little bit, but this is a pretty good way of separating them. Um, just want for those watching, I want to make it clear that these aren't lines. This the ni and goro down here. This is just for this section. So this isn't saying goro is used with calendar year, month, and
Okay,
date.
okay.
This is ni and goro are used. Oh, and look at that. That I think this will answer a question. Ni will probably be used for the date.
Tariq. All right.
Yeah. The last thing that I just want to run through in this short presentation is just general word order in a sentence. Um, I've always described it as sandwiches, but so the general order of things. So I excluded the subject or topic because I just couldn't make it fit on the screen and make it look pretty. So we'll start off with that. That's off screen, hanging out over there. The something something wa bit or the implicit wa is their our first starting point, and then it'll move to general time, followed by our specific time, and then it'll kind of branch off into our different types of sentences. So for our action verbs like taberu and stuff, we have our general time followed by specific time, and then location to the object, or location de followed by object, and then the verb, right?
Okay.
For our movement verbs, it'd be our destination, ni, e, and then our verb. I put in this third category because I didn't know what to consider, like the pseudo verbs and stuff like that. But let me go back. But this is kind of a way to break it down.
Okay.
Yeah, does this make enough sense? I feel like this is easier to follow when
I
I'm
think so.
clicking through it instead of just looking at it when it's all on screen.
Yeah.
But
But I mean like the idea of like the operations going from like most general to like delineated into most specific and then the rest I think that makes sense.
mhm. This isn't a hard fast rule, to be fair. Like sometimes you can mix some of it up, but when you're starting out, this is a very, very safe way of organizing your sentences so that they're the most cohesive and the most coherent.
Okay.
It's just it's one of those good practices, but language is fluid, so
As
it's
you get more comfortable, you'll know when you get weird with it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. And then I think this is just another chart I took just to have it. This is sideways. I'm sorry, I couldn't flip it to where it would fit, but it follows that. It's pretty much that same order, right?
Okay.
This is probably where I took the inspiration for the 3 different verb paths. But anyway, so that's that refresher and breakdown with it. So we can move on to the exercise. This is pretty much the same thing that I organized for you the other day. Can you
Okay.
still see? Is it the OneNote popped up?
No, I do not see one. I just see the like Google slides.
Okay. Oh, I probably didn't share screen then.
There we go. Yeah,
Are we
I see.
back? Yay! So this is just a fill in the blank bit. We'll go through the sentences one at a time. my days were pretty boring. Sorry about that. I'm not really doing a lot these days, so I tried to mix it up as much as possible. But we'll start with going back and doing like the date again, just to get that practice,
Mhm.
and then our verbs associated with those general times, like today, yesterday, so on, and then the day of the week. So today is
Like
we'll just
actual today or
run this
based
back
off
order.
of the. Oh, I guess we are doing
Yeah.
the 18.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay.
Today is
Uh,
the 18th. So yeah, let's just do the date first.
okay. Um, 今日は3月18日。Do I want to do full year?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
And then to end our sentence.
Oh, des. I guess it is now the
Hi.
end of the
Hi.
sentence.
はい、今日は3月18日です。And then, 今日は何曜日ですか？
um, is Tuesday.
That is
Is
Tuesday,
is
yeah.
Tuesday water or is Wednesday water?
Wednesday is water day.
Okay. Wood day? Tree
Today's
day?
fire day.
Fire day. Oh, Coyote.
Have you spent time like with the kanji? Because
N-
if not, it's
not necessarily. I mean, not no, but
really funny that you
it's just because like I'm a nerd, man. Like I see the
entertaining that you have
element
this
symbols
association
more.
of like
Yeah,
ka with fire, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's I mean that works.
yeah. Like it's weird
And
to like
then
retroactively start associating
yeah,
the elements with those days.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess like Tuesday's kind of hot sometimes.
What's the word for yesterday?
Kino.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting there.
Kino.
All right.
And kino wa nani hi deshita ka?
Uh, that's
So not
17.
yobi, but hai nani hi
Okay.
deshita ka?
This is a Nietzsche one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ju Shichi Nietzsche?
Mm-hmm. Hai kino wa 17日でした.
Okay. And then we're
And
putting the
then
deshta in there because we are now past tense, right?
mm-hmm, correct.
Okay.
昨日は何曜日でしたか?
Uh, Mokuyobi?
Yesterday was the moon day, right?
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, Getsuyobi. Oh my boy, my sweet baby loon boy, my favorite one.
はい、月曜日でした。
Okay.
Can you say
Thursday is
that?
Moku, right?
Yeah, Thursday's Moku.
Okay. All right. I was having a crisis.
Yeah, and if you could just say this
Okay.
bit in a full sentence.
Yeah. Kino goes first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kino wa getsuyobi desu.
月曜日、
Deshita. Deshita.
はいはい。
Okay.
昨日は月曜日でした。And then what's the word for day before yesterday?
Um, help me out. Which one is little brother?
Ototo.
Ototoi then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, おとといは何日でしたか?
Um, Kinyobi?
何日でしたか?
Uh,
So not yobi,
mhm.
not
In my
non-yobi,
mind,
but
like if it makes sense to break it out like this, not nanihi like is it's just like what day is it, right?
mhm.
Okay. And should I think of that as like what date is it, or does it
Yeah.
make sense to delineate it that way? Okay. Um, 16th. Did we record on the 16th? I'm trying to think if this is something that should be on the tip of my tongue. I think we did.
We did.
Okay. 16日?
はい。 So you wanna say that in a
Yeah.
sentence? おとといは
おとといは16日でした。
はい。 はい、16日でした。おとといは何曜日でしたか？
Um, you are asking for the date still, right? Or are you now asking for the
う
day of
ん。
the week?
おとといは何曜日でしたか？
Ototoi wa. Uh, okay,
So
okay. The actual
is
Yobi
the week.
part.
It's the
Okay, I am
yeah,
I'm
same
tricking
曜日.
myself because I'm looking at like the top column and thinking like this is the language he used to get me the calendar day, right? Um,
Different word.
okay. Uh, Yobi versus. Anyway, let me answer the question. Kinyobi.
そうですか？
uh,
おとといは金曜日でした
Ototoi
か？ The
day
day before yesterday, right?
was that not Sunday? Or am I twisting
So
words?
yeah, you confuse it. 金曜日 is Friday.
Okay, okay. Oh, the sun one. Nichiyobi.
はい。日曜日. Okay, and just say that in a
Okay.
sense for me.
Yeah. Ototoi wa nichiyobi deshita.
はい、はい、そうですね. Okay, yeah. See, like always, I'm glad that we started incorporating this in each day because it's pretty easy to lose track of it if we don't say it all the
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. It's true. It's true.
Okay, so for this, we'll just run it through the first column and then the next.
Mhm.
But we'll just read it as we go along and fill in the blanks as necessary.
Okay.
So can you start reading this for me and see what we need?
Okay.
And feel free to read around the sentence to try and figure out the context if need be.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking how to juggle that right now. Ju blank goro okimashita.
Mm-hmm.
So I woke up around a number, right? Well, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
a time. Um, which
So I should mention that this is kind of like I don't mean to put this here for numbers since like Jew is the number, but it's like what do we need here to
okay.
make this sentence make sense?
Oh, okay, okay. Like what particle associated with
Yeah.
numbers? Okay, okay.
Hmm. It's
Ni,
like
I'm
it's
guessing.
like this is I wanted to make this seem like counter because like I put
Mm.
C for conjugation over here.
Oh, okay, okay,
um, so I guess think of it as a counter of sorts.
okay. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. Now that it's been made explicit, that checks out.
Yeah,
Um, and it is not necessarily a particle that always goes within these slots, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
sometimes it's a
was
particle by the P. Sometimes I just mentioned the word I want you to put in here.
okay.
And then
Um,
sometimes they're blank because I didn't know what to call them.
when I was doing the other exercise, like the web devy part of me was like, "Oh, this should be a drop down list that has all the particles. Maybe that would be a fun way to think of this exercise." But that would also
No,
give
that
you
would be
the
cheating.
set of options. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, shoot, shoot, shoot. Um,
So like what is the sentence do you think this is trying to say,
um.
first of all? Like I think you already said it, but
Yeah,
what was it
like
again?
I woke up around 10, right?
Yeah. So
Um,
what do we need to do to that Jew to notate what 10 is?
if it's just the count, I'm trying to decide between like G and G con, right? And
Mhm.
I'm trying to think which one is like specifically time versus. Well, I guess we're saying like a clock.
Mm,
It's we're around like 10 o'clock, right?
yes. Yeah.
I think that's G. I'm good.
Yep.
If there's a test, mark me wrong if it's not.
It is just G.
Okay.
With counters, the con will usually notate like uh number of time, so like hours or number of hours or number of weeks.
Mhm.
That is not always the case because like Nencon means throughout the year, but if you see it at least between like Shu for week and Ji, shukan and jikan are number of weeks, number of hours, whereas just the shu or ji is just week,
Hmm.
hour.
Okay. And in this case, and for this specific sentence, should I think of it as like a clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 10時頃起きました。So
Okay.
woke up around 10.
All right.
And then yeah,
Iro
the P does
gohan. P for
notate
particle.
particle. Yeah.
Uh, abemashita. So we ate it. Are we just going with the wa here, or is this the actiony, verby one?
Um, yeah, I guess I could have wrote this sentence here a little bit differently. But I am saying I ate lunch.
Okay. Kind of. I remember the relationship, but I'm not immediately pulling like the sound to. Um. Uh. eh,
Yeah, because like if we want to do it this way, I guess I would write this as like Watashi wa
Okay. Okay.
hiru gohan something something tabemashita.
Okay. That that would help if if my recall wasn't so bad, man.
It's interesting because like there's definitely some verbs that you default to using this particle with,
Mhm.
and it's interesting when that
Yeah,
doesn't
like
come up for you.
sometimes it's just like a matter of the like the word selection itself, like me having some kind of
Mm.
association with it.
Yeah, it
Um,
like comes in chunks.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know how the brain works at this level. Um, especially my own. Shoot. Is this a day? Is this a day?
So de would be like a location
Oh,
or
okay,
means
okay.
of.
Yeah, it would not be.
So this one would be o.
Oh, I do
Hiru
think,
gohan
for better or
o.
worse, that association business. I think it's just the Duolingo exercises that tend to have that often.
Mm,
I think that's what's going
gotcha.
on.
Interesting. I feel like that you do you do where you like drag the blocks in order?
They come up from time to time, but it's usually just like a. Actually, no. That for like a sentence like this, that would probably be the norm. Which
Yeah,
by
because
default
like I
gives
feel
you
like
like a
these.
filtered list to work through, right?
Yeah, and O is usually on its own as far as I've experienced. So
Hmm.
not sure to say, but
I'm like in my
O
mind,
here.
I'm like, I bet you, if it was just Gohan by itself, I would have chimed in, but it's somehow.
Yeah, I don't even know what I ate to be honest, but
um.
I did eat lunch that day, so I know that much.
Okay. Now for
Oh,
the
actually, no, I didn't, because I didn't read the
but
rest of the sentence. I didn't
okay.
eat lunch.
Yeah. This is not
Oh yeah,
demo,
so
right? I
moving on.
want to say demo, but that hasn't really come
Yeah,
up just yet, right?
that has not come up.
Okay. Um. What would we? Soshite is like an and then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I understand the desire to default to demo because that is very commonly said, just
Yeah,
not
I
in a
feel like
sentence like this.
my ears like them. Um.
Mm-hmm. So
But
this is going to be
I will
ga.
feel bad about this is ga. Okay.
Yeah. And just as a like a refresher, when we're like declining invitations and stuff, we're like, sumimasen ga,
Hmm.
それはちょっと, right? Because it's like, I'm sorry, but,
Yeah.
すみませんが、金曜
I'm
日は
like
ちょっと,
I'm sorry, but and the guy's the but.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
The ga's the butt.
We must saying ga. Okay. That butt ga. All right.
はい。Okay, はい、次.
Okay. And this one, kohi o is past tense.
Mm-hmm.
Nomimashita?
はい、飲みました. So
Okay.
it's like, yeah, and to reiterate, we're using ga here to illustrate contrast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hiru gohan o tabemasen deshita ga kohi o nomimashita. So I didn't eat lunch, but I did drink coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soshite,
Mm-hmm.
um, sun, and this is a time business. So I'm gonna assume
Mm-hmm.
G. Because we're probably talking about a time of day, but I haven't finished the sentence out to be sure. I guess.
Okay,
Um.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm Sanji. This is Gemu.
Game.
Gemu o. Is this also shimashita?
Yeah, this one
Okay.
will just be shimashita.
Okay. Are we saying? We're saying at 3 o'clock, right?
I'm not.
Okay. That
Because like also
changed
if you're
how
thinking
I
about
feel.
like if I'm telling you about my day, I don't
Hmm.
think I would ever say,
Yeah,
yeah, I
like
play
at
games at
3
3 p.m.
o'clock, I play, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have that amount of confidence in my scheduling, right? Um, are you saying, for about 3 hours you played games?
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, for 3 hours.
Okay. Um, I, 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 I guess that would be Chikon.
Hai.
Okay,
Hai,
I'm
chikan.
not confident in myself on it, but I get we're
3時間
talking about
ゲームをしまし
hours
た。
as opposed to 3 o'clock. That's the distinction to make, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Because like yeah, in the beginning here, yeah, partly why I put it this way. So in the beginning, 10時頃起きました。Because I definitely wasn't waking up for 10 hours, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
10時
I've had
頃起
days
き
like
まし
that.
た。Yeah, true. And then 3時間 ゲームをしました。So I just
Okay.
wanted to illustrate the differences there for sure. Do you want to read this full sentence now that we
Yeah.
have it here?
Yeah. そして、3時間ゲームをしました。
Yep.
Okay.
And just to kind of show what this is looking like, hopefully I set it to screen correctly, right? Can you
Yeah,
see
yeah, I
the
can see.
yeah. So in that last sentence, the sanjikan, we had like time, like for amount of time. This will fall in this category.
Hmm.
And then geimu o shimashita. So it's
Okay.
just following this same kind of order there.
Okay. Order of operation.
Okay, tsugi.
Okay. Goji. I'm trying to decide if this is a Han or Ban, and I'm looking at the start of the
Yeah,
last sentence.
yeah. Han
As we.
Han
Okay.
since it doesn't have the 10-10.
Okay. Yeah. Goji Han blank Chichi Jihan blank Tomodachi particle Nihongo particle. I'm guessing that one's an O probably. Um Benkyou shimashita.
Yeah. So
Chichi.
there's two times here,
Okay.
right? So
So
what
5:30,
have we
right?
done
For the
usually for
first
that?
one.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm guessing we're doing the duration, which was
Mm-hmm.
Kare and Mada?
Made.
Made. Okay.
Yeah. So you want to say that for me?
Goji kara shichi.
ちょっと待って。
I'm sorry.
5時
Goji han
はい。
kara
はい。
shichi jihan made
はい。
tomodachi o. I'm guessing.
Yeah, you said と
Yeah, for with.
はい。はい。そうですね。
Okay. Nihongo o benkyou shimashita.
はい。
Okay.
そうですね。5時半から7時半まで友達と日本語を勉強しました。
Okay.
はい。
Ooh.
次。
Bangohan article. I'm gonna guess O again. I'm assuming we're gonna eat this
Okay.
food, but I haven't gotten that far. Um, Uchi. Um, I'm gonna assume de. Um,
はい。
I'm struggling with this katakana. Something do, right?
サンド。
Some. Oh,
Sorry,
okay, a
yeah.
sandwich. Okay,
Yeah.
sando. Uh, we're eating this, so maybe this is the o tabemashita.
はい。
and then the
はい、
other
そうで
particle
す
would
ね。
be else.
You are correct. It will be something else.
Okay. Bangohan for dinner went uchi de. At your house, you ate a sandwich.
Hmm.
Bangohan. What do I for dinner?
It's like I've usually described this part of the sentence being like, as for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I usually say it in English.
Okay. Walk me through the times that we would use ni again.
um, so ni is for like destination. So like
Okay.
I'm going to somewhere, and then for times. So
Okay.
like 2 o'clock or for on
Okay.
Monday, so on and so forth.
That's what I thought. Somehow it looked
And to
right in my for my
yeah, to
like.
be fair, I haven't we haven't talked about this particle yet. Like I didn't have a
Okay.
slide dedicated to this.
Okay. Okay. Um. All right. Just hit me with it then, in the
This
interest of
one will
time.
be wa.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
晩ご飯はうちでサンドを食べました. As for dinner it goes,
Mhm.
I ate a sandwich at home.
I think because like the other exercise, like the written version, was fresh in my mind, and wa was rarely, if ever, one of the things written in there.
Yeah.
I just think I didn't have it in my psychic drop
Yeah.
down list, if you would.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Part of why I put it there.
Okay.
Yeah, especially because we say, or like a lot of
Watashi
these, we do
wa for
say
yeah.
we kind of it's pretty easy to glaze over.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
okay. We'll move on to the insho or the impression category.
Okay. Uh, コーヒーはとても ama and C was for
C's for conjugation.
okay. Uh, and ama. I remember we talked about sweet, and then there was like another word. Was it very?
Uh, the opposite, amari, so like down here.
Okay. Okay. Amari.
Amari is for like not very.
Okay.
And then yeah, amai is sweet.
Okay. And we are talking about coffee, and we don't have anything after this, so it was probably the sweet one, right? Um,
Yeah, because totemo does the
that's
same or
very by itself.
is another description that's like similar to amari, or
Hmm.
like it's the same function as far as like words go. It's a I don't, would you call it an adjective? I'm not really sure what
I'm not
this
confident enough.
is called because yeah, it's not an adverb. I'm not
Yeah,
really sure, but
it's
it
a
is
it's one of them
modifying
sentence
our
enhancers,
adjectives.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, like the sugar I put in my coffee. So yeah, we're
Okay.
needing to
Okay.
conjugate amai here
All right.
basically.
Okay. Okay. Um, my this is past tense,
Hmm.
positive past tense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Amakatta desu.
はい。はい。コーヒーはとても甘かったです. Can you say that for me?
Okay. コーヒーはとても甘かったです。
はい。はい。次。
日本語 article を勉強は long something が um 楽しい blank this
はい。So まずは, so first of all,
mhm.
let's figure out this. You're right with the ga. I'll put that in later.
Okay.
But let's figure out this particle here.
日本語 is it the subject?
This whole thing is the subject
Okay.
because the wa is what
Okay, the
follows it
was there.
afterwards.
Okay, okay. Um
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we're not doing the action
That's right.
here to the
Uh
Nihongo. This is a relationship between Nihongo and Benkyo.
okay.
So like the Nihongo is going to be describing the kind of Binkyo it is, describing the
Okay.
kind of studies. So I'm effectively saying
Oh,
Japanese
okay.
studies.
Nihongo no. Nihongo no.
はい。
Okay.
はい。日本語の勉強は and
Long.
then
Shoot. I remember we making a joke about giraffes during this. Before it came out. Um. Oh, man, it's so close on my brain. Don't tell me.
yeah, we haven't said this word a lot, so
I
or I don't know if we
it
have.
it is a Wanikani word.
Oh.
I can. I feel like this is the first time I've had this problem. I think I'm thinking of the right kanji, but I am not thinking of the sounds. Um this is a
はい。
rare problem.
Yeah, this one's nagai.
Oh my god. I should have known. I should have known. Me specifically, I should have known. Well,
Yeah.
well,
So
well.
we need to conjugate this still.
Okay. Um past tense. It was not very long, right? Negative?
No, this one is
No, no.
still
This
positive.
it was long.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, he sound. Um, I'm not great at associating which rules go to which, but I feel like I need to get in the habit of jumping through the flowchart. Um,
So
um,
it's an e adjective,
yeah.
and we've already conjugated into the past tense today so far.
Okay. Um, I'm looking at the rest of the. Um, it is not kata, right?
It is kata.
It is kata.
Why do
Okay.
you? Yeah, out of curiosity, what made you want to say that it wasn't?
Because I was looking directly above it, right? And I was like, we don't have a trailing E sound there. But I guess we would. It's just we've already conjugated, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So this would be amai in its base form.
Hmm.
This is nagai in its base form. So that e in both instances are
It
being
is
conjugated to kata.
okay.
Yeah, and we would still want the des here. So nagakatta desu ga, and then
Anoshi.
something des.
Uh, what was C4 again?
Conjugation.
Conjugation. Okay.
So this is the same thing.
It was fun. Okay. If it's the same. Tanoshikatta desu. I guess that is.
楽しかった。はい。
Okay.
楽しかったです。
No,
Okay.
this is one
And
of
yeah.
those like shik sounds, right?
Yeah, the kind of
Tanoshikatta desu.
contraction. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and just reread this and then we'll move on.
Okay. 日本語の勉強は、んな、いや、長かったですが、楽楽しかったです。
はい。楽しかったです。はい。日本語の勉強は長かったですが、楽しかった。楽しい。楽しかったです。すみません。Flubbed しました。Okay.
フルします。
Every time I do that, I can't help but thinking of like the Monogatari series.
Okay, okay.
But anyway,
All right.
次。
6時頃 I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
6時頃 Is this Supu? Supu's back?
スーパー。スー
Super.
パ
Okay, okay, the store. Um, Super blank particle. Probably what? Let's see. Iki at the this was the present at the time that this sentence is taking place, right?
Well, I mean, this was yesterday, so
Okay.
we're still in the past tense.
Okay, this is still
Like, yeah, this would
yeah.
be like
Okay, okay.
me describing to you what's been going on.
Okay, okay. In my mind, I'm looking at this and I'm like, he probably made this yesterday, and 18th is probably the future. But maybe not.
No, I did make this today, so.
Okay. 6時頃スーパー、は行きました。
Ikimashita. Hi. So,
Maybe not one.
ikimashita.
Oh,
Yeah,
probably.
so that would be
Okay.
saying like the 6 o'clock store
Okay,
went.
okay. I
But
see.
yeah, that's not what we're saying.
Is it
Because
not
once again,
oh?
it's like implicit, like what watashi wa. So this is a destination. This
Oh,
is where I
ni.
am
Okay, okay. We're
going.
going places. That's right.
Yes,
Ni.
yes. Hi, super ni ikimashita. Can you just repeat that for me?
Yeah. Goruji goro.
Koko kara
Uh,
rokuji.
I could feel dissonance in me. 6時頃、スーパーに行きました。
Hi.
うち、
So, yeah, this
I'm
one's this one's gonna be a little different.
okay. Uchi, my heart already wants to say de, but we'll see. Uchi de super um blank kuruma. Okay, okay. So we're traveling via car.
Mm-hmm.
Blank gohun de.
This should just be a verb.
Okay. Oh, I was ignoring that entirely. Um, and I'm guessing that's probably ikimashita or the one for how
Mm,
long it took to do something.
yeah,
Okay,
it'll be that.
kakarimashita.
はい、はい、そうですね。かかりました。So that will provide some important context to some of these other particles.
Okay, yeah, I can feel a little more.
So you
Took
mentioned the
yeah,
the
yeah.
the means of travel.
Mm-hmm.
Can we parse
Would
what
would
this
that be a knee
particle is
then
in?
safely?
This would not be ni.
Okay, then de probably.
Yes.
Okay,
はい。車で5分かかりました。And then this is like home,
from
door.
home to the
Mm-hmm.
supermarket. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, ramen two. Is that something that we've done? Like I'm thinking of the
Yep.
time duration business, but
Yeah, because this format is used both with time, so from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and from starting location to end
okay, okay.
location.
Karen made or karan
Yeah.
made?
はい、か
Kara.
ら
Okay,
まで。その通りです。はい、
okay.
読んでください。Can you read that for me?
Yeah. Uchi kara super made kuruma de 5分かかりました。
はい、はい、正解です。次
Okay. Super blank. We'll get to it. Ban gohan. Well, we'll see. Kai mashita.
Yeah, it kind of splits off there.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that kai mashita
kaimashita
is
just means to
buying, right?
buy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Um, ban gohan. We bought dinner at the supermarket, is what we're saying, right?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, and that I'm trying to decide. We there's no traveling in this sentence, right? We would not use
There's
ni.
correct.
Okay. Um, Super de no.
So e and ni are interchangeable.
Okay,
So
okay,
we would not use that here.
okay. Um, well,
So this is
for the
you're
the
saying like
second
at
bit,
the
second bit,
supermarket? Uh-huh.
the ban gohan, would that be ban gohan or mashita?
Hi.
Okay. Super. You mentioned hair. Hair and knee being interchangeable. When does one use hair over knee?
Formality.
Oh, okay, okay. But
Yeah.
they're conveying the same idea.
Functionally, yes. Functionally,
Okay, okay.
they do the same thing.
All right, let's filter that bad boy out then. Um, we're saying at, right?
Yep.
Sh- um, shoot, we explicitly was that day? Was that day?
This is de.
Okay.
Yeah. This is de.
Super de Ban gohan o kaimashita.
Yep. I bought dinner at the supermarket because I had Panda Express.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I know where you went to the bougie one. I see. Okay.
はい。
そして、
次。Mhm.
Uchi, we returned home.
Oh, this is I meant to.
帰りました?
はい。帰りました。
Okay.
帰りました. Forgot to do this.
Mm,
And then that
okay.
particle. Because now we're
Uchi,
traveling.
we're traveling now, right? Because
Yep.
we're returning home. Ni then. Think.
はい。
Okay. Yeah.
うちに帰りました。そしてうちに帰りました。
Cool.
OK、次。
Um, Uchi. Oh, we ate. Tabemashita.
Yeah, this one will be 食べました。
And this is a
Need a
short
particle here.
sentence. So is this
Mhm.
wa?
Let's.
No. Because we're
Yeah.
yeah. Um, you ate at home, right? Is
Yeah.
what we're saying.
Mhm.
Uchi de tabemashita.
はい。So I did not eat at the store.
Right.
And I
Okay.
didn't want to complicate things by being like, and in
And
the same sentence, like
then
I
yeah.
bought it, but I didn't eat there. I went home. Yeah. So,
Okay.
うちで食べました. Plain and simple.
Okay.
はい。次。
Juni. That's 12, right?
Mhm.
And this is specific time, right?
Okay.
Jikan?
うん。
No,
じ。
o'clock. 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the opposite of nomimashita?
コ
No,
ー
that's
ヒーを
drink.
飲みますが、はい、はい。
Nemashita.
はい、はい、正解です。寝ました。はい、12時寝ました。読んでください。
Okay. Yay.
Could you read that for me?
Yeah. Oh, could you repeat the word or the sentence for? Could you read it for me? I'm sorry. I need to
はい、
chime into that probably.
いや、読んでください。
Yonde. Okay. Um. 12時 nemashita.
はい、正解です。
I don't know how
Okay, over
clear.
here.
I want to explain this mental process to you because I think it's funny.
Uh-huh.
But when I think of the number 12 and I'm trying to differentiate, like, is this 12 or is this another batch of syllables?
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, I've probably mentioned it before. I think about Naruto. I think about the tuning
Yeah.
exams. I think about them
Yeah.
that 12th year exam. I'm like, is this 12? Nah, this time though, yeah. Because the knee will trip me up in isolation if I'm trying to be like,
Mhm.
is that particle knee or part of the word?
Gotcha. Yeah. I figured it had something to do with it like
Yeah,
that. I was thinking
absolutely.
of like Chunibyo, but
Mm. I like
same idea.
in the
Don't have same
back of
idea,
my
but
mind, I know that that's like refers to a grade syndrome, right? But it's not like I have to think it through. It's not as immediate.
gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, for our insho.
Okay.
And this is probably going to be a word we haven't. Well, some of this will
Uh,
be words we haven't used a lot, but
okay. Um, busy Nigiyaka? Or is that like
so that's
more
lively.
lively? Okay.
That's like bussin', you know.
Okay, yeah, that place was popping. But if I'm just like I was busy, I'm trying to think if I used this one. I did like my personal version. That's right. Um, busy like a bee. What does a bee do in Nihon? Um, shoot, I'm blanking. Give it to me.
Yeah, so this one's gonna be isogashi,
Isogashi. Okay, we have seen
but
this. It's not
yeah,
one of the words I'm jumping to use.
but this was still yesterday, so we
Okay.
have some like work to do.
Isoga gashkata. Does
Hi,
that feel okay? That it made sense
isogashikatta.
in my brain too, but it didn't feel natural in my mouth. I probably never conjugated this particular word.
Yeah, and just make sure we're adding
The
des, and
des.
then we're all set.
Well, okay.
Hi,
One
moichido. Hi.
before I repeat.
Hmm.
When would I put deshita instead of des there? What's the use case?
Deshita is for like nouns and not adjectives.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
はい、もう一度読んでください. Can you read this
はい。
one more time for me?
スーパーはとても忙しかったです。
はい。とても忙しかったです.
So, am I doing the same shika kind of thing there? Kata?
Yeah, しかった.
Sogashikata. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Okay. 次.
Okay.
Or I guess it's just this
Ban.
bit.
Okay.
Ah,
晩ご飯はあまり and then we not expensive, not expensive. We said long before, right?
yes.
Um,
That was 長い.
and these like and for expensive, I know you could just use tall. Am I using
Mm-hmm.
the same word?
Yep.
Okay, but I'm
Same
like
word.
making it negative, right?
Yes.
Jana what?
Well, what's that word?
That yeah, I'm I'm the not very part. I think I have the word I'm best confident on. I
Okay.
definitely know this. Or I should know it. Shoot, tall, tall. Trying to think of like sample sentences where like Mount Fuji is very tall. I will feel regret.
I'm inching ever so closely to the word.
Uh, it's like Hangman. I'm the one getting hung, man. I deserve a trial.
あまり高
Takai, Takai.
高い, はい.
Okay.
高い. But we need to change it.
Okay. Takakata desu.
Mm. 高かった would be like it was expensive, but I
Oh,
want to say
ja,
it wasn't.
the the janai. Does that come at the start or the end? The end, right?
Nope.
No,
No,
not.
this is not a Janai.
There's not a janai. Ooh. There's the other one, which I use less in my psychic brain tubes for reasons I don't understand. Um, kunai.
Yeah, that's the first
Okay.
part of it.
Uh, kuna kunakata desu.
はい、はい、その通り、高くなかったです. So yeah,
Okay.
let's try saying this whole thing.
Okay. 晩ご飯はあまり高くなかったです。
はい、高くなかったです.
高くなかった。
Okay.
That's my street name. I'm Totemo. Is there more that needs to happen there?
Uh, so I wanna draw a distinction between totemo and this other word. Think of
Okay.
this as like very.
Okay.
So the supermarket was very busy.
Okay. Is this honto?
はい、本当に
Okay.
本当に
And I've heard like hontoni as like an exclamation, like a really? Is that true? Is that
Mhm.
and here, but you're just saying it without like I guess a hint of irony, if you would. Like you're just straightforwardly like it was very yokata. Truly, it was
Exactly. That's
yokata
a
this.
good way of thinking of honto. It's like
Okay.
truly
Hmm.
as well. So yeah, hi. So I'm saying like when using like yukata like on its own a lot, that just means like oh like I'm happy about that. I'm
Hmm.
glad.
Okay.
So like I'm really glad it wasn't that expensive.
Okay.
Is essentially what I'm saying
Yeah.
here.
I've heard yokata. I feel like on its own. I think it's like a Street Fighter win quote. I think someone brings out like a yokata. But
Mm.
I'm less. I've seen it used less commonly, like as part of a sentence, if
Ooh,
that makes sense.
I'm sure you've heard it a lot, especially like say someone doesn't die in an anime, like ah
Yeah,
hontoni
yeah,
yokatta,
yeah. I have heard that.
yokatta.
Definitely.
So,
Okay,
はい。Okay, 次.
okay. This morning, asa. Is it just asa or is there's something else on?
Yeah, there's this
Um
one's a little different.
Kyo asa?
This one's kesa.
Kesa. Ah, shoot. Okay. I don't know if I would have gotten there. Um Ichi gurai. Ichiji gurai. What am I?
So,
What's going
yeah,
on here?
close. So what's interesting, I did this kind of purposely to
Mhm.
illustrate something here. This gurai can also help kind of draw context for what you're wanting to do. This one's going to be jikan.
Okay.
So gurai means for like, if you want to think of it, means like about,
Mhm.
and then there's like around for goro. So like I woke up
Okay.
around 10 o'clock. I studied or whatever for about an hour.
Okay.
But you would not use gurai when referring to like the time that something occurred, but for like an amount, you would use gurai
I
for
see.
for that for that
Okay.
amount. So there's like an amount of hours I would use gurai, hence the ichijikan gurai.
And gudai is not limited to like time related usages, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you see like a handful of things.
Yeah. All right. Kesa ichijikan gudai. And this is gudai, not kudai, right? G sound.
Correct.
Okay.
I think
Gudai.
it could be both, but I find myself more often saying
That's
gu,
right. We talked about
like
this.
good.
Okay. Okay.
I was gonna say giraffe, and I was like, wait, no.
like a good giraffe. Um, Duolingo. Particle. Maybe. Well,
This one's
we'll
gonna be
see.
kind of tricky. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Do. Hmm. All right. That has already changed my perspective.
But
Okay.
we'll,
Um.
but we'll
yeah.
worry
Yeah.
about that later. Let's go with the rest of the sentence.
Nihongo. Blank. Benkyou shimashita. So I'm guessing, based off what you said, we're using Duolingo to refer to a tool. Is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Do we use de for that? Okay.
Yeah. よくできました。はい。
Yeah.
Duolingo で日本語 something
Okay. Uh,
勉強しました。
Nihongo o benkyou shimasu.
はい。
Ibun wo.
自分の
We need a soundboard with that on it.
Yeah, we can. You got Discord Nitro.
I do not. Is that one of the, I eternally wonder. I'm like, what do you even do with it? You just stickers? I don't care that much. Now you're telling me there's a soundboard. I might feel different.
Yeah, yeah. Soundboard, animated stickers. You could stream at higher FPS. You could have a higher resolution for the stream. You
Discord,
could
if you
see
want to
this
sponsor this
in
particular,
1080p.
oh my gosh, I've been upscaling them like a peasant. All right. そして、
Well, let's just read this
okay,
whole
okay, yeah,
thing.
that's right. 今朝、1時間くらい、ドーリンゴで日本語を勉強しました。
はいはいはいはいはいはい。Okay, 次。
そして、新聞 read a Japanese newspaper is all one conjugated word? Is that what's happening here?
No, this is just the rest of the sentence.
Okay, okay. All right.
I figured I'd do it at least once.
Just once. Okay. Yon is read?
Yomu.
Yomu. Okay, okay.
So yeah.
Shinbun wa
Okay.
mu. It ends in mu. Is that a na? Na?
Ooh, I don't know what that question's asking.
Oh, I'm asking the sound that I'm determining how I conjugate this.
Yeah, so this kind of like ikimashita, it's a yomi.
Okay, yomi mashita. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we have
Shin
the final bits.
Okay. Shinbun wa Oh, would I just say Nihon no newspaper or like a newspaper
Mm-hmm.
written in Japanese?
Hi. That's what I was going for. So
Okay.
Nihon no Shinbun something something yomimashita.
Okay. I'm not like instinct wants me to say wa here, but I'm not confident that's the case. Um.
So it'd be like the newspaper read, right?
Oh. Okay. I was not sure if
So
that same
the
relationship kind of came
yeah,
up
because
here.
the wa is like the topic
Right.
marker, right? So it'd be yeah.
Like in my mind, I didn't know if like Japanese newspaper was like topic of the sentence, or if that was the way to think of it, or other way uses the particle. My brain can work. Um, I'm doing a quick
It's the
scan of
one
the
that
page.
unfortunately has the simplest function out of all the particles.
Um, hmm. That complicates things. Unfortunately, my um. Okay. Walk me through again when I want to use wa and when I want to use o.
So my walkthrough would be don't cross those streams at all.
Okay. They are cross. I'll tell you
Because
right now. They
yeah,
unfortunately we're here.
yeah, but yeah, you mentioned "ol," so I'm gonna go ahead and
Hmm.
put it here because we are reading the newspaper,
Okay.
right? The
O
"ol" here is
o there
identifying
there are
what we're
two
reading.
bits that connect to an o, right? Every time.
Uh, two. I mean, it identifies what is receiving the
Okay.
action.
There is an action and an object when I use o each time I use it, correct?
Yeah, because the action is the verb.
Okay. And the
Yeah, and
verb
"ol"
being
here
the
is
the
just
reading.
making it clear that we are reading the book or
Okay.
we reread the book or I guess newspaper
Newspaper.
in this case. Sorry.
You
Yeah,
good. Um.
because like if you want to think of
Nihon.
it this way, it'd be like implicit watashi wa.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay. The fact that you are in the sentence. Okay. That does help actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
日本の新聞を読みました. I get,
Hmm. Yep.
そして it was part of that too. Um,
Yeah.
そして日本の新聞を読みました.
Yeah. So it's like this morning I studied through Duolingo for about an hour and then I read the Japanese newspaper.
Okay. All right.
So funny enough, this next sentence does do the same thing that we're kind of talking about using these particles we keep on confusing. So
Okay.
this would be nice.
All right. Hiru gohan. Hiru gohan or hiro gohan? Roos and rolls are.
Yeah,
I'm not confident.
hiru.
Hiru. Okay. Hiru gohan. Let's see. Um, ramen. Is that right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Ramen.
Ramen. I'm guessing here is the o.
Hmm.
Tabemashita. And
Yep.
I'm Hiru gohan. Is this a wa?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, is there a trick to this or is it what I feel it is?
Yeah, because this is
Okay.
like as for lunch goes, I had ramen
Okay.
or I ate ramen. Hmm.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
Now to our insho.
All right.
And this word is like grammar or grammar point.
Boon.
Uh,
This is a
bunpo.
boonpo. Like the
Bunpo.
word
It's like
itself means grammar point.
hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um. Atarashi for new.
I
Gakko.
新しい文法は
Not very. Muzukashi is difficult by itself, right?
yes.
Okay. Muzukashi kunai? Or totemo muzukashi kunai?
Yeah, so totemo is usually used for like positive
Very.
conjugation.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Would I well, there was another because we did the like hontoni. Would does that also have a positive connotation with it?
Kind of, yeah, with
Okay.
the as far as the
I
conjugation
I
goes.
thought so. Um I'm trying to think of like a negative totemo equivalent.
Mhm.
Uh
Yeah. This is the amari.
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Ah,
Um
you're right there. Sorry for
yeah,
for
it's
cutting
okay,
you
it's okay.
short. Dang it.
It's a journey
Okay.
sometimes. You don't know when we're getting
So,
there. It's fair. Um Amari
Amari
and
muzu
yeah, muzukashiku nai.
So yeah, this is still talking about what I did earlier
Oh,
today.
that
So I mean, it
I'm
is
lost
today,
in
but
place and time. Okay. This is this day. Uh,
so not muzukashi or not muzukashikunai. It is negative, but
mhm.
I've already
Kata?
done this. Yeah,
Muzukashi kata this.
muzukashi needs to be negative though.
Oh, shikuna kunakata.
Funakatta. Hi.
And
Okay.
just des because it's
Yonde.
today, right?
No, the kata is the past tense part.
Oh, okay.
We just don't use deshita for these
For kata.
conjugations.
Okay.
The kata is the past tense.
Um, ramen wa oishii
But
desu.
real quick.
Or would that now be deshita because of sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, let's just read this real quick.
Okay. Um, amari muzukashiku. Oh, sorry.
すべてを読んでください。はい。
Um,
From the start.
atarashi bunpo. Was that right? Bunpo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Atarashi bunpo wa amari muzukashiku shikunakatta desu.
はい。はい。
Muzukashikunakatta.
うん。新しい
Muzukashikunakatta.
文法。はい。新しい文法はあまり難しくなかったです。
Okay.
Okay. はい。最後。
Okay.
Final. What do we
Yeah.
got?
Ramen wa totemo. And this time we would use a deshita, right?
No.
No. Okay.
Deshita. E adjectives do not use deshita.
Okay. I wasn't. Okay. Oishii desu. Totemo oishii desu.
Uh, we could put it
Oh,
totemo
I
here.
guess there's not a totemo there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just personally like ramen, I guess.
Some plain old ramen.
Yeah, just it was good. It was instant.
So
I'm assuming because this is made at
oishi.
home.
Yeah. And remember, this is something that I ate. So
Oh, am I putting that in the sentence?
well, I'm saying as far as like tense goes, because you said oishi
Oh,
desu.
okay, past tense. Past tense is what you get.
Hi.
Oishi, oishikata.
Hi. Hopefully the auto insert didn't spoil it too much. But hi. Oishikata
I didn't even
desu.
notice. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Blank desu.
Yeah. Yonde kudasai.
Hi. Ramen wa oishikatta desu.
はい。ラーメンは美味しかったです。すごいよくできました。
Oi.
All right. That's all I had here. And seems like we've been going for a good chunk of time,
Yeah,
so we can go ahead and call it.
I think so. Thank you for listening to me struggle on this day in the past. And thank you, Jimmy, for putting this together and guiding me through my paces.
いいえ、本当に楽しかったですよ。No problem.
All right. Good night, guys. Take care.
はい、またね。